do that, it'll take you to a link to sign up for our trip page. If you had 35 members already, 54 members already, so this is good. This is also a great way to ask questions for us if they come up later on, or if you have questions for Paul, which we'll introduce here in a minute, that you can do this. But there's a couple of things since we're all been using the band here to find stuff. Since most of our mobile devices, there's an icon on the bottom that has a folder, and that will have the itinerary that we're going to go over tonight. And the stuff you'll see on the screen is going to be some details about the Smoky Mountain Music Festival. You're going to see details about Dolly Parton Stampede. We don't make it that loud. They don't want to hear that much. Stuff about Dollywood theme park itself, and the hotel we're going to, which actually has the water park built into it. So there's a lot of experiences here we have. So let me turn it over to Paul for Great Day Tours. So you can take it away and walk us through our itinerary. Thank you, Paul.
Wireless is a little bit better. How is everybody tonight? I'm Paul Chevalier. A lot of you might know me because I have done like the DC trip for 35 years or something like that. So love going with the kids. You are in the best school system. Down in the DC trip, when Steve and I talked, and you don't realize the planning that goes into a trip like this. We probably talked about last June, not this past June, last June. It's the best experience for the band parents. And I'm a band parent myself. I graduated from Brecksville a few years back, but all three of my kids have graduated from here, and yeah, even our grandson is only 2, but he'll be coming to Brecksville for high school too. So I know what the band likes. And when my kids did it, we did like Disney every 4 years. And did something, so it's kind of exciting to go to the festival, and you've already been to the festival, so I'll let you elaborate on that when we get to that part. But the itinerary itself is going to be a 5-day trip for April 10 to 14. But the neat part, when I found out, it was just yesterday that we found out where we're going to be staying. It's called the Wilderness at the Smokies. It's got a water park built in. So that first day is pretty much going to be leave, we have lunch, and we give everybody either cash for lunch or work a lunch in. Dinner's probably going to be at the hotel is what I'm thinking right now, because then after that, you guys have the water park all night. So after sitting on the bus, you've got something that you can do that night. Next day, we are going to be going to Dollywood, and Steve and I are already working on some kind of performance opportunities at Dollywood for either the choir or the jazz band or something like that. So again, it may not be the full band, but we're trying to work on whatever Dollywood's going to allow us to do. We're going to work in for the group for there. And then that night we're going to go to Dolly Parton Stampede. And if you've not been to Dollywood, it's not just there's shows there, there's crafts there, there's the performances that we're going to be doing there. So enough to keep everybody entertained for the day. And like I said, we're going to try to work on some performances too. We've got the Stampede is not only dinner, it's kind of like if you've done like the medieval times on some of the Disney trips, that type of thing. It's going to be where you have a meal included, plus the things you entertain in. And then of course we go back to our hotel. The big day is Friday, that's where we have the festival, and we are working on, and I'm going to let Steve elaborate on this when he comes back, but the festival is not, we're going to have the choir there, we're going to have the band there, and it's not just the band like marching like we do at other, like we do at Disney. They're going to have like symphonic bands going to compete. It's more of a competition than anything. And again, I'll let him elaborate. He's been there, he can elaborate a little bit better. And then the last day, there's a parade that we do, and then we are going to work in some fun times, because there's a lot of different things in the Pigeon Forge area we're going to do, so we're going to do some fun things there. Finish off the Pigeon Forge experience by eating dinner at the Hard Rock Cafe, and I guess testing is starting that Monday. So what we're going to do after the Hard Rock, and I think it's going to be about 6 o'clock, is probably travel home or towards home, 2 or 3 hours, so that we will get you back here at the school more early afternoon instead of late evening, so everybody can study if they need. I don't know what you do with the tests, but we'll have you here earlier so that you can get that good night's sleep to test well. So that's the basic itinerary. So Steve, I don't know if you want to come up and talk about the festival a little bit right now, and then we'll go over some of the pricing and how to pay online and all that other kind of stuff that'll be coming.
So the main attraction for us is going to the Smoky Mountain Music Festival, which will pretty much be all day on Friday. And we get very much like the OME, a large group for the bands that had to do that before, orchestras and choirs, where we have some nationally recognized adjudicators who come out from colleges, and some of them are retired Air Force directors. I think it was 1 year, and we had Kirby Shaw, I believe, 1 year for choir. Ms. Garlock and I had the pleasure of going in 2016 and 2017, so we went there and brought our groups. Besides the fact of getting just outstanding feedback, you get written feedback and verbal feedback from all three of the adjudicators. You also then technically compete against other schools from all around the country. We were fortunate enough to pretty much get first place on all of our groups, or second place, but that's awesome for us. It's something we haven't done as an ensemble in a long time, so we want to get the kids used to that as well too. The point of this is, besides the fact of what we experienced in high school, if we're trying to see what we can do beyond that, these are some of the experiences that we'll be getting past high school. We're going to be going and listen to other people's feedback and getting a little bit of a pressure situation. The good thing about it is there's no adjudicated sight reading, but I believe the choir had a work session with the directors, so the choir, not only do you get to get evaluated, but you actually get hands-on help right there. And then that evening is the award ceremony. We're all there to cheer each other on, support each other, and it'll be really, really fantastic for us to have that opportunity again. So that's pretty much that day. For us, it'll be crazy because we'll be doing ensembles all day long. But one of the other attractions that we talked about is we haven't had a Drexel Broadview Heights High School Music Department trip, I'll tell you, I think ever personally, but at least in the last 50 years. So this is kind of new and exciting for us to do this once. And I can tell you, at least we're thinking about doing this once. That's probably it. And then going back on the normal tracks. So it's not always about we do it and now it's a new tradition. We wanted to do something new and also to get our departments together again, because we haven't done something jointly in a long time. The other kind of unique thing about this is, just from talking with Hudson, they're going on a department trip for like the first time. So it's a lot of schools kind of doing this. So we're in line with what other schools around us who are very comfortable with our music program are also thinking of doing. So we're excited about this opportunity. I can tell you, we've both been to Gatlinburg. I've been there several times. It is a great trip. Anybody here ever been to Gatlinburg, Tennessee before? All right. So I know all the good food spots, as you can see. I'm horizontally advanced, which is good. But we will make sure that you don't go home hungry, at least. And I'll tell you, Dolly Parton's theme park is the best theme park food ever. It's just fantastic. So I'm going to be there with the ribs all day long. So, but I'll turn this back over to you, I guess, to see if there's anything else or ask for questions. Also, the last thing, I'm sorry, if you go into the stream on this app, and I'll put it back, you can see all the different things we're doing. The Smoky Mountain Music Festival with information for it, and like I said, the hotel and also Dollywood.
Okay, I think the one thing we want me to talk about is the pricing, and offhand, I don't remember, Steve, all the pricing, but we worked out like a quad price, and also if you want 3 in a room, we worked out that price for you. 2 in a room, I believe. Are you looking for chaperones also? Because that's always another thing, and usually the chaperones go 2 to a room. But if you can pull the pricing up, that would be great. But what we're going to have probably available in about a week is going to be just a web page so that you can go onto it and see what the pricing is like. But I want to say it's $975 for 4 in a room. Oh, $979. That was close. That was close. So 4 in a room would be $979. 3 passengers would be $1079. If you want 2 in a room, it would be $1159. And I don't think we'd have 1 student-wise anyhow for that. But a chaperone might, and that would be $1504. So what we're going to do is. Where do I start with how the pricing goes? We're going to get a deposit, and do we have the deposit? Yeah, just a $50 to start. Okay, and that we will probably put up onto the website for that deposit, and pretty much that gives us an idea of how many people are going. Because right now we're holding 6 buses and 80 rooms, which I know is more than enough. But it's always nice to let the bus company know if we're not going to use that many buses, and the hotel know if we're not going to use that many rooms. So by getting a little deposit for that, that'll be great. We'll have another deposit that will be due, and we might even move this because what we do is usually get it to the middle of December, but we don't, like if we get checks, we don't cash them until January because my accounting department doesn't like to put too much money into the account in December and pay the taxes on it for a trip that goes next year. So. Same thing with credit cards. If you call us with a credit card, we can take a credit card for you. The price I just gave you is a cash price, so we can do checks at that price. If you need to do a credit card, we can do that, but we charge 4% more just to cover what the credit card company is charging us. But again, if you call us with a credit card, we will not charge that card until into January for you. And again, these will be on the webpage, that you can also just charge it right on the webpage, but that's instant. I can't control how fast that works. So if you want a credit card and you want to wait until January, you can call us. Now the 50 we might just put through because that'll cover, actually I might be able to wait on the 50 even until, I will double check that and wait till payments to go into next year. I have to see when the festival needs payments, that type of thing. So the other thing we're going to do is put onto the website, we're also probably going to put like a $25 payment, a $50 payment, maybe even a $100 payment on the credit card thing. And I'm only going to do that because just in case you never know what to get your child, or grandparent-wise, what to get your child for Christmas, it might be a way to say, hey, Mom, Dad, if you want to pay towards this trip, you can go online and make a payment, and we can even create a certificate for you to send to you so that you can get some other input for the payment there from somebody else just contributing to the trip. So we'll set that up. I'll work with Steve, get a link for it, and then I would say within the next week I'll be able to have that up for you. So, any questions that I can answer for you, trip-wise or payment-wise? I'll know positively when I give you the webpage, but initially I'm going to tell you, let's say January 8th. Does that sound fair to everybody? Or, yeah. I'm fine with that. I'm just more, is there a way to get a commitment to you ahead of time? Without money, is there a way to get a commitment to you? Okay. That's what we'll do. We won't make payments due until like January, might be the 8th or something along that line. But Steve's going to come up with some kind of commitment form or something, just so that we can get some numbers of who wants to go. Because there has to be a cutoff date, because we have to know, like I said, both bus-wise and that, how many people we're going to have. So, okay, January 8th, did that work for everybody? See? Okay, I didn't see anybody shaking their head no, so we'll make that happen. It's like for all the other trips, we've always taken it in December, didn't cash it in January, so it doesn't matter to me. We don't use your money till the trip goes, that's all, so it works for us. So, question?
So for those who are participating with the Camelot fundraiser Merchant Choir, those proceeds would go towards it. The treasurers and grateful shaking their head, which is good. And then the citrus sale coming up, and then the Christmas flowers, the poinsettias will be on sale soon. Sit in with us, don't mind us. So citrus sale is open to everyone this year, band, orchestra, and choir. You've got some links, we'll put it also in here too. It's a great fundraiser, and I think it's just another good way to have someone else help you fundraise for your kid to go on the trip. So we'll have these two fundraisers coming up, citrus and the poinsettias, and if we need to, we can talk with doing a third one to choir and orchestra for some of the families. I'm going to add right now to the thing, like the payment is on the 50th, or the $50 payment's on the 8th. So I'll put it into the thing right now.
Okay. Yes.
Yes. So everybody on Friday is performing. It depends on if every student goes. We have 3 curricular bands, 3 curricular orchestras, 4 curricular choirs, jazz band, like they're all performing. It's part of the big appeal of why we picked where we're going to. And then the very next day, our marching band is to march in the morning in their parade, which is really cool. We were hoping we could still get to Dollywood, fingers crossed, but they have a cap of 75 members only. So, right, so that kind of fell through because we wanted them to march Thursday as well. So we're working on that on our end.
Yeah, we're still working with Dolly to see what we can work out with as many as we can get involved. We want to get involved. Yeah. Other questions? Yes?
If someone wants to pay cash, can they do that, or?
One question, that's probably the first thing I probably should have mentioned. First off, I am from Great Day Tours, and our office is right at 77 and 82. So if you wanted to pay cash, that's fine. I would probably recommend just come to our office, and that's I hate to say it's like a revolving door, so I can see our office January 8th, it's gonna be just dropping off payments that way, which is fine. I personally, I love talking to everybody, so it's a great thing to do, so. Yeah, our office is right in Broadview Heights, so it's close. You can drop off a check, yeah, it's right by the Giant Eagle. It's right, you go down the hill and there's an L-shaped office complex, that's right where we're at. So anytime you can drop off a check. We even have a slot in our door, so if it's after hours or whatever, just make sure you put in there, Brecksville Broadview Heights band trip or something like that, and it'll get to my desk and we'll process everything through. So, yes. Other question? Yes?
Just to confirm, the full payment isn't due January 8th, just the 50?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. What we will probably do is have like the $50 due January 8th. I'm gonna guess probably 50% by the beginning of February, because that's 2 months out, and then balance will probably be somewhere right around the beginning of March. So that's as a, without double checking everything, like when money's due for the festival, that type of thing. That's in my head right now, is what we'll probably do payment-wise. Yes?
Adults, chaperones,
It's gonna depend on how many kids go. The more the merrier. We need chaperone too, so that's fine, but chaperone for the adults, that's fine. We generally try to do 1 for 8 or 1 for 12. If we stretch it out, 1 for 16, but we don't like to do that. And obviously, we'll step in if needed to. But the last couple of trips we've taken, at least for the Van North Shore side, we've been fine with parents. I think the Disney trips have all been well attended with chaperones too. But realistically, the more the merrier. There's not like a cap. So if it's 1 for 4, we had that one time. There's only 4 kids, so right. The more students we can have, especially if it's a new city for a lot of families, I want people to feel comfortable, make sure they're fine.
And one other point, I mentioned we're on buses. We are using Barron's Bus Line. They have the newest buses in the area. Reclining seats, PA system, we can show movies, and the big thing that everybody on this bus wants, or group wants to know, they have Wi-Fi, and they have plugs to charge your devices, so you are golden all the way around there. Restrooms also, plenty of luggage underneath, we can take a lot, I think we pack in all the band materials and all that right under the coaches, that type of thing, uniforms, whatever we need, comes with us. So it's actually organized chaos if you've not done it before in the parking lot, but it works. Yes?
So I'm gonna make an interest form, now that we have it, and I'll put it, what type of traveler are you, student or chaperone? And we'll go from there. And then for our process that we usually do, once we get a confirmed list, the kids get to select their own roommates. So that's another question probably come up from kids. So usually what will happen is student A picks student B, and make sure student B picks student A, and we line it all up. And then that duet picks another duet, and now we have a quartet. Or we have single riders, people who don't care. We find them in eHarmony and put them together.
Was it?
And bus 2 is the singing bus with Miss Carlock. If you like to sing, go on bus 2.
Yes. What do you? Yeah.
I didn't know it wasn't on that document. I don't think it's on the page, so it wasn't left off intentionally. On the emails we've been sending out to the school board, that's the advice has been there since September. So I'll make sure that it's on the
Perfect. Okay. Yes.
I'm asking this seriously, not seriously. If you chaperone, do you have to be your own kid's chaperone, or can you be with a different group?
My favorite story ever. We went to New York X amount of years ago, and the parent on the chaperone kid goes, I don't want you. And the parent goes, great, I have these 8 kids. And they took them shopping in New York all the time. By day 3, Mom, come on. They go, nope, nope. And these kids got hundreds of dollars worth of swag, so it was great. And then we had another one that wandered off by himself, so the penalty was they had to keep up eating with us, adults. And we stopped everywhere, so like, we had fun times with that. But no, you don't have to chaperone your own kid.
Kids take note of that. You can mark that against your parents there. It works. It works. Yes.
roughly not.
Yeah.
But yeah, see what the school room is. We're up to school, like
It's whatever the school, policy is, I will get it clear, especially if circumstances for lots of reasons. We can work on certain one-on-ones. The other reason why we have now single, double, triple, and quads, the room pricing. So someone has to get it by themselves, okay? Because I think I also had an email about siblings. I need to find some of these questions out. Yeah. Gotcha. So yeah, we'll get to you, but we have to talk with Mr. Jacob, what is the official policy? I think it's kind of been the same for all trips, but it keeps evolving. So make sure we have the most consistent language, so we all know what to expect. Go ahead. Question was, is there going to be a unified shirt, which is something we definitely can look into for 3 boosters. I know for orchestra, we haven't designed our shirt yet. Yeah. Everybody has a sad looking bee. Now, it would be cool if we can, yeah. So once we start to sit down and see how many people are coming, we can get better answers with that. But I can tell you, the kids will need their formal uniforms, or marching band kids will need their concert uniforms and marching uniforms. And then we'll figure out what else is needed, depending on how many kids go. Possibly the polo shirts for choir, could be summer uniforms, depending on the weather. So there'll be some luggage going on. But yeah, that's a great idea about having a trip shirt.
Just so I can sell it to my kid a little bit more, is the water park included in the pricing?
Yes, that's the beauty of, when I found out the water park, the next question was, is that included in our price? And it is included in our price. So, and right now I can pretty much, I don't want to say the word guarantee because I hate to use that particular word, but that Wednesday when we get there on the 10th, we're driving all day. We will probably, I don't know what time we're going to leave here, but if we leave here at 7 or 8, you're going to be getting there about 6 o'clock or so. So we might do dinner, and then you have, your time on your own. So that would be the night for sure that there would be the water park. It depends on what time we get back each evening, whether we have more time at the water park. But it is already included. There's not an extra charge, no extra fees for doing that. So the question way back there.
Since they're missing school, what's the school's expectation as far as missing silence?
I'm going to chain them up all weekend until they get caught. Now, here's what my understanding of that. The whole building is aware that we're taking a music department trip. From what I understand, potentially too, on that Monday, the 8th, is the Eclipse Day, which may or may not be a student day coming up. So they may only have 1 day of school that week if they go on the trip. They can get their assignments ahead of time, and since they have a 12-hour bus ride one way and another way, they can definitely get some work done on the bus. But I think a lot of teachers, because the following week's going to be testing, it's going to be a pretty light week. We also put the musical before spring break as part of that to also make sure we aligned a lot of the building schedule, make sure our kids aren't taxed or penalized. The other question I got was, what happens if they don't go? Well, they just don't go. So they'll be here at their normal schedule. We'll have a sub, probably a 1 building sub for all the music classes, would be my guess, and it'll just be like a study hall. So, but yeah, we want to make sure the kids aren't penalized one way or another because they're either going or not going on a trip. I think robotics kids, you went for a week last year for Worlds, right? Is that right? Yeah, I mean, that was tough. This one, at least we're trying to make it so there's a lot of people going at the same time. So if the building is all playing nicely, we should be good.
Testing the following week, I don't see that on the schedule yet, is that standardized testing?
I don't know if it's standardized or it's end of course, but there's some type of testing going on that week from what we were told. It could be end of course testing. We just want to make sure that the kids get home so they have plenty of sleep. Question is for band, we get to use the new uniforms. A, we need to get them first. And B, we'll talk with Cheyenne and the uniform committee, and I'll actually ask the kids what do they want to do. I would love to have that displayed this year. If it's important for our kids, it's important to me that we can showcase it correctly, but that would be a great way to do it. Yeah. Especially for the seniors, because I mean, they put some input, especially like your son who had some input in the design of this. I would like them to see if they want to march with that. So I think once we get the poll who's actually going, then we can find out. We'll definitely work with the uniform committee because I don't want to make sure that they're overtaxed with that.
If now we've moved the down payment to January, because originally it was going to be sooner, so you're not going to know how many kids are actually going till January now?
We're going to try to create an interest form that has a deadline way before that. So we'll know who's going, so that way it makes it easier for both of us. And then we have enough time to get the right amount of buses, for argument's sake, if only 2 kids go, we're not going on the trip. But also, it could change the price, we may have more. So we want to make sure the price is locked, we can fill the buses, because that's the biggest thing right now that changes the price of the trip. So we definitely want to make sure we have a full bus. If we have 4 full buses versus 5, that price is still solid. If we have to go to a bus and a half, that's when we have some decisions to make.
And I'll reiterate what he said, though, the commitment form is critical. So once we have it, we put a deadline date on that form, and I don't know what the date will be, but anything beyond that will become based on availability, because we will be doing some reduction of buses and that type of thing. So we really need with the payment, but we gotta get the commitment. Okay, yes?
Will the kids be allowed to tour the city? If they are, will they be able to go on their own or with their chaperone?
The question was, will they be able to tour the city? First off, and it's not just this school, it's any school district. If your child is somewhere shopping, whatever, they will be with a chaperone. Just, you have to have that kind of supervision at all times. I don't know how much free time we have though with this, because the one day we're at Dollywood and the other day that festival takes up virtually the whole day. So there's not a lot of time. We are gonna do some, that Saturday after the parade, we're gonna do some other events, and I don't know, maybe we can work in a downtown shopping as one of the options, if they wanna do something like that. So, because we have multi-buses, we can go in different directions and do different things. So I'm not gonna say yes, no, but it's a definite possibility that we can do something like that for them, and they have a certain amount of times. But either way, there will be chaperones with them.
So more than likely on the Friday, because not every kid is doing the festival all day long, they'll have a assigned time. So this, when we have chaperone meetings, will make more sense. By the way, we're gonna put a deadline of November 30th. I'll put out a form probably tomorrow, so that'll be the deadline, and I'll put it in the apps so you guys will have it. So we create it for our, most of us will have a concert that night. A lot of us will be here for a concert, so we'll re-remind you that evening. But going back to the question, do they have like time to shop and roam the city a little bit? It will be yes, that Friday they'll have some time, they'll be able to go around and explore. However, they have to, the chaperones and them always have to be in communication where they're at. It can't just be like, all right, here's $20 a kid, I'll see you at 6. It doesn't work that way. But they have a little bit more freedom than they do, let's say, in DC. So, and we kind of, once we figure out who our chaperones are, we'll set those guidelines and we'll communicate that, because every chaperone is slightly different in their comfort level.
So the chaperones will not be going with them?
Well, the chaperone will be with them, but they're gonna be like locked in step every single way. Because if they have kids in this shop and kids in that shop, then if they know where the kids are, they're still supervising it. We're gonna be tied up on that Friday, and that's where comes the harder part. However, I believe Mr. Bacco is coming with us on this trip. So we bring in the heavy guns here, so be nice to Mr. Bacco. Please. Yes, say please. Yes.
With the kids growing exponentially, will there be a chance to get new summer uniforms before they go?
So there's a chance to get new summer uniforms. I saw Cheyenne, so there you go. Hey, can they get new summer uniforms? Yes. So we can work that out. And I think the other good thing about putting the deadline of November 30th, we'll all have a booster meeting one more time for Van Ocean and Choir. So we can also make sure we're all having questions and answered. That way you have some more things answered, maybe in a smaller setting as well, if you have other questions for all parents. Anything else? Hi, balcony people. There's someone up there. Yes, sorry. So either way, we had a hotel Saturday night. The first option is we would go back to, Gatlinburg, and then drive longer to get home. So what we're thinking is, en route to home, there'll be a hotel. I don't know where yet. That's what we got to figure out. So somewhere between Tennessee and Ohio, we'll spend the night in a hotel. It's the same price. It's not adding any price to the trip.
It will most likely be 2 or 3 hours north of Pigeon Forge. What I have to find out, and it's tough for me to schedule right now, I need to find out from the festival what time is the parade, what time do I have to leave the hotel that morning, because the driver time is documented electronically. They can drive for up to 10 hours a day, so that's not the issue, but they can only be on duty 15. So if they're making me leave at 8 o'clock in the morning, I've got to be somewhere by a certain time, so that will determine where I'm going to do the hotel rooms. But that's the only, but it will be no more than 3 hours from Pigeon Forge, is my guess, just because we're not going to finish eating. I mean, we have 4:30 reservation at the Hard Rock, so figure 6 to 6:30 by the time we're done. I don't want to get you to a hotel at midnight either, because that doesn't do us any good. So that's our guess, is 2 to 3 hours. Yes?
Are all the meals included in the price?
All the meals. I think so. Yeah, I think so. Because even that last day, we'll leave the hotel, we will do a nice lunch and then come home. So I believe we have all the breakfasts, we have lunch go, and I think all the meals are included. So yeah, they can leave home with no money, still gain some weight. It'll be fine. So, yeah. 4 breakfasts, 5 lunches, 4 dinners. So yeah, we're good. So, and I didn't even mention, I saw that below, that we do have a security guard that's on duty every night too. So if you chaperone, you will get some sleep. So it's always a good thing there too. So, and but we hire a service that's there, and it is just for our group. So with this size group, it's probably 2. I believe I have 2 security guards, just because. But you know, I can't tell you how many years I've gone on the breakfast different trips. I've never had an issue. So it's good. The kids are tired by the time they go to sleep. Other questions? Okay. If I know Steve, he'll be around for a little while. So if you have a question personally or something, you know, we'll be here to be able to answer them for you.
There's one more, I guess, maybe? Yes?
So if you're a chaperone and, like, one of your kids have something, are you able to give them medicine, like, is, someone else?
So the question's pretty much about medicine. We'll have medicine given out by staff members. Morning meds, evening meds, we're figuring that all out too, because the policies have changed slightly again. I think there are certain over-the-counter things that parents can do.
Yeah,
Right.
but not.
But yeah, the majority of it, yeah, it has to be a VBH, CSD employee or equivalent. So, Mr. Backer, no, we'll get that solved. We want to see how many people are really going. That's going to be the key to this. Even if you're interested and not sure yet, sign up for the interest form once we create it for you here soon. And that will give us a lot of these answers, you know, for you. Where's John Mueller? I saw him somewhere. The skeleton is full price, if you bring it. Okay, just want to let you know, it counts as a person. Somebody asked. Any other questions? If not, thank you. And we appreciate you attending this. Make sure you're on the band app. We'll be posting more things as we start getting more and more updates. If you have any more questions, Mr. Hannah, Mr. Carmichael are here. And thank you very much for spending your evening with us.